Hello everyone, good evening. Good evening everyone, good evening and welcome to day 3 of our C++ Masterclass. Good evening, very good evening everyone. Am I audible? Is my screen clear? Can you see it? Anyone please confirm it in chat box so that we can start with our day 3. And then we wait for a couple of minutes and I just want to know what all topics we have seen from previous day. You can post it down in chat box, waiting for your responses. You can post it down in chat box what all topics we have covered in day 2. Let us have a recap and we'll start with day 3, and there is a reason behind it because we are going to continue the session from day 2. Okay? Yes, thank you for the confirmation. Good evening guys, very good evening. Post down the topics which we are discussed in day 2. We'll be continuing with it. What all topics we have covered on day 2? Remember? In day 1 we have seen introduction, installation, general syntax. In day 2 I hope we have discussed about standard output. Okay? Standard console output, and then we have seen about standard end line which inserts a new line character. Then we have seen about comments, and we have seen about, yeah guys, post it down, post the topics in chat box. And then we have discussed about the next one, which is escape sequences, yeah, then variables, then data types. Very good. Okay, very good on our topics. So we are going to continue with data types. I hope we have seen about only primitive data types. So we'll be continuing that in day 3. So I'll be starting now with day 3. Once again, I welcome you all to day 3 of C++ Masterclass. Post some emojis in chat box so that we can kickstart with the session. Post it down guys in chat box. Starting with data types. Okay, once again, freshly. So in C++ or in any language, okay, data types are the type of data you are storing, and particularly when we talk about C++, it is the data type are used to define the type of data that a variable can hold. So when we declare a variable, okay, what we'll be doing? We'll be mentioning that this variable is going to hold an integer or any type of data, what type of data that container is going to store. Remember containers, we have seen examples, right? Mangoes, blueberry and all. Okay, each data type has a specific size and range of values that it can represent and hold, and they specify the size and nature of the data that can be stored, allowing the compiler to allocate respective memory in the hardware and interpret that data correctly. And we have seen in the previous session some examples on primitive data types, like integer age is equal to 19. If I have a float value and if I store it in integer, for example, a question, post down answers in chat box guys. If I am going to store integer GPA equal to 4.6, and if I try to see the output in console, the value of GPA, what will be the value? If I store it in integer GPA 4.6, what will be the value of GPA displayed in the console? Post it down. We have seen that example in previous session. Instead of float, if I go with an integer GPA equal to 4.6, I hope I have that as well. From day 2 we are having this. Let me cut it off and okay, see here float x6 8.9. Okay, instead of float, if I go with integer, okay, and I am displaying the name, character and grade. Okay, I run this and the CGPA is actually displayed as 8. Yeah, correct guys. 4 will be displayed if you go with 4 point anything. Okay, because this is an integer data type which can store only whole numbers. If you want floating points, you have to go with float. Float can store the decimal points. Okay, and it can store that and it can display that properly. Good. Thanks for the response. Very good to see the answers 4 in chat box. Okay, yeah. So apart from that, we have seen character, which is for single storing single characters, and then we have seen about string. So these are basics. Let us go deeply into one by one, starting with integer. Okay, Okay, so let me just clear this screen, and I'm going to freshly start with integers now. Once again, integer x equal to 20. Okay, standard console output, the value of x, it will be displaying 20 now. Okay, so let me clear this as well. Now, when we talk about the data types, we have different data type and a modifier as well. We have seen integer. So generally integer is taking a value of 4 bytes in memory size. Okay, when you try to store any integer, it will take 4 bytes of memory in C++. Please remember this. Okay, there is a way to find that as well. We'll be seeing that later. 4 bytes is allotted for integer data type. And there are a lot of modifiers, okay, like this for integers, for characters, for floating values, we have a lot of data types, or a lot of modifiers for these data types. So first, starting with integers, okay, so a general integer, it is going to be a signed integer or general integer, okay, it can have a sign as well. What is sign? Plus and minus, okay, so positive and negative can be stored in this int, it is also called a signed int. It can store a maximum of, okay, in the positive it can store 32,767 and in the negative it can store minus 32,768. Okay, so this is signed integer. Okay, so they can store that. You can add this modifier as well. Generally it is integer, or you can also go for signed int. It can store the range, between that only it can store. Okay, apart from that, if you go, for example, if I try to add a long number like this, if you try to run this, you will be getting error. See here. Okay, it can't, the overflow error will be coming because it can't store. Like the container can store, for example, this container can store only 5 mangoes. Apart from that, if you try to store 10 or 20 mangoes, what will happen? It will overflow, right? That's the idea here. It can't store that. It is a signed integer. It has, you can also store a negative number, for example, minus 20 is possible because it is signed. And I run this, I can have minus 20. It is possible. You have another type where you can declare it as unsigned integer. In such cases, in places where you are going to store only positive numbers, then you can improve, or okay, you can increase from negative to positive. So from 0 it can store up to 65,535. This is the limit, and you don't actually want to remember these limits. There is a way to find that. We'll be discussing those later. Okay, there are concepts easily available, but eventually when we try to use it, when you program frequently, you will be able to remember these terms. Okay, so when you go for unsigned integer, only positives can be stored. You can go and declare it as unsigned integer. I'll try to run this. See here, the value of my x is actually minus 20. Okay, but when I try to view it, it is printing me some number. Can you see it? It is printing me some lakhs or crores. What it is? Okay, if I try to run again, I am getting some number, and the reason behind is it is an unsigned int. If you are trying to store a negative number, it is going to just return a garbage value. So what is a garbage value? It is a garbage value means some wrong information. So C and C++ has this problem. So if you try to do some wrong things here, it is going to just display or throw out a garbage value. Okay, so if I store a positive value, it will be returned a positive. The same number 20 will be available for us. So if you go for unsigned, then it means that only positives can be stored. Clear? So that is signed and unsigned integer. Okay, so you also have a short integer as well. Okay, so you have short int, so that has some limited range. So instead of signed or in combination as well, you can use, for example, short int can also be used. It has some limitations, but the size will be low. It will take 2 bytes of memory. Okay, so you can either go for unsigned short int or signed short int as well. All combinations are allowed with integers, and you can store based on the number you are going to have, or based on the value, based on the size of that mango, you are going to decide which container you are going to use. And this is for integers. So we have seen short integer, okay, signed, unsigned, and then we also have long. Okay, what is long? So when you see about long integers, if you go for long signed, both negative and positive, this is the range. See the comparison. See here, this is 65,000. What is this? it goes from -2147483648 long numbers, okay, to positive till 4647. So you can store lengthy numbers or long numbers with the help of, for example, let us go for unsigned long integer. Okay, so let me try to store this number. Let me run this. Okay, I am getting that number because it is a long int. It takes a lot of memory. Okay, it actually takes increase in bytes will be available, but at the same time it can store long numbers. Okay, so if you try to go and store it in normal int, you may get some error. Okay, signed int, it can store lengthy numbers can be stored with long integer. Clear about this? So that's it about integer data type. Okay, so we have seen about different integers. So this is their respective range as well. Okay, so going for short int, this is their respective range. Unsigned short int, the range will be improved. Okay, 2 bytes of memory for this. Normal integer has this range, 4 bytes of memory. And you have long int, which takes also 4 bytes. You also have long integer. Okay, it goes from -2 to the power 63 to +2 to the power 63. See here, I can go for long integer and I can store even bigger numbers which has that respective range. Okay, so based on that value, we are going to decide which container we are going to use. So this is integer data types. And now moving into decimal points. Remember, for decimals, okay, earlier I have used float GPA equal to 8 point or 7.8 something. Okay, and I'll go with standard console output. Okay, GPA, and I'll run this. 7.8 is available. This is floating point values, and the problem is this float is actually have less precision. For example, if you have a lot of numbers after decimal point, this float has low precision. Okay, so it doesn't give importance to the points which are very later. Okay, so when we talk about floating point, it goes from -3.4 into 10 to the power 38 to plus 3.4 e power 38. So that is 4 bytes of memory which has low precision. If you want high precision in decimal points, you can go with double. Okay, so double can also store. Okay, instead of float, you can also go for double, which is actually taking 8 bytes of memory, but it has a lot of precision. So the precision will be improved in double. That's the idea for double. It can have a lot of precision after decimal points. And if you want a few more precision, you can go for long double. So this is, it takes 10 bytes of memory and it goes in huge range. Okay, so the precision can be given importance. At the same time, their memory will be increased, or the size which is required will be increased. So that is decimal data types. Moving into character data type. Okay, talking about character, remember characters, it is a fundamental data type used to represent only single character. Okay, it is used to store individual characters from the American Standard Chart. Okay, character set, which includes letters, digits, punctuation marks, control characters and all. Okay, for example, we will be using single. We have seen this, right, previous session about grade and all. For example, see here, this is the ASCII chart. You go from 0 to 127 here. So you have the symbols as well. So for example, the small letter or the capital letter, actually A starts in 65. That's the number. Okay, B is 66, C is 67. Then if you go till Z, it is 90, and you have some symbols, and your small letter characters starting from 97. Okay, so from 97 you will be having that. We have already seen, I hope so. Let me try to interpret this. See here, what I'm going to store is, I'm going to store integer x equal to single, okay, single quotes A. So I'm trying to store, what I'm trying to do here, guys, post down answers in chat box. What will be the output? What will be the output for it if I run this? Post down in chat box. So I am storing integer x equal to a single character. I am storing a character, okay, in a variable which is actually used for declaring integer. What will be the answer? Post it down in chat box. ASCII means American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, it is from American Standard Code for Information Interchange. They have some respective numbers and their respective numerical value and the character. You have symbols and all the symbols will be integrated. No error will be coming. Very good, guys. The answer will be 65 if I run this. The answer is 65 because according to the ASCII table, the value A stores a value of 65, and since it is an integer, it can display only number, so it takes 65. If you go for small a, it will be sorry guys, it will be 97 if you go for small letter lowercase a, and if you go for B, it will be the next number, which will be 98. Okay, but if you want to display B as B itself, you have to go and change this integer as character. So if you go with a character data type, if you try to display it, it can store single character, and you have to go with single quotes. Okay, so see here I am getting small b, or if I want capital A or any character or any symbol, for example I want to print hashtag, I can go with that. Okay, or you can also do something. Okay, you can also go and call for 67 here, x equal to 67. What am I getting? C in the result, right? Post down. If I go with 100 here, what will be the answer? Can you guess? I hope this small a is actually 97. So if you go and use 100 here in a character, it can display a character, and according to ASCII table, the 100 will actually give a result which will be 97 is A, okay, 98 is B, 99 is C, I hope so. Then 100 will be, let's save it, run it. Yeah, it is small d, okay. D, guys, it is small d because A is 97, then calculate it is small d. Okay, so if I go for 70 here, it will be providing, save it and then run it, capital F. Okay, so that is character data type. And next, moving into strings, and before going into strings, so if you want, you can convert this masterclass into 1 month certified internship on C++. So if you join in this internship, you will be getting lot of benefits, and when we talk about the benefits, you will be getting 30 days of live sessions, 90 days of access to all the records. You will be getting the daily codes, source files, projects, code files and all. And for the benefit of internship users, we are conducting weekend hackathon session on Zoom. 4 sessions will be conducted. So starting from this weekend, we will be having every weekend with coding interview questions as well as doubt clarifications. And we also have 5 additional DSA topics, which is particularly focused on interviews only for internship users. You will be getting downloadable presentations. All the PPTs will be given. You can download it, you can use it. Internship confirmation letter when you join this internship, and then internship certification when you complete this internship successfully. So the regular fee is actually 1,999, and we are giving a discounted fee at 899, which is available for a few days. It is a limited offer, so you can get it in the registration link, which is actually pinned and posted in chat box. Okay, so the batch 1 ends on the 1st of March, which is tomorrow, and by every weekend we will be having this hackathon sessions. So the first will be in this weekend. So if you join later, you will be missing these sessions, live sessions. So if you are interested or planning to buy it, okay, so the new month starts tomorrow, you can utilize this and you can join and get benefited on these hackathon Zoom sessions to get personalized support and clarify your doubts and additional DSA topics for internship users. So you can get all these benefits of internship availing in this fee, and the link is posted in chat box. You can utilize that. It will make a boost in your career. You can utilize the link which is posted in chat box, and you can get all these benefits and get certified in C++ by joining this 1 month certified internship. Fine. So After completing characters, now we are going into strings data type. Okay, so talking about strings, so string is actually not available as a primitive data type. Okay, so string is nothing but multiple combination of character. For example, a character is a single letter, but if I want to make a string or words, okay, it should be a combination of character like ABC or TOM, Tom, or any name. Okay, so if I want to make that, I should able to go with, okay, combination of characters. So that is actually available as strings, but it is not available directly. A string variable contains a collection of characters surrounded by double quotes. So when you go for string, you will be mentioning it inside double quotes. When you go for characters, you will be mentioning it inside single quotes. Okay, so this string can be available in standard. Then string, it is a standard library class that provides a convenient way to work with string of characters. So it is a part of C++ standard template library, and it is defined in the string header. So you can add hash include string, or you can even directly access it now. It is okay. So you can go and call standard, okay, operator, and then string. This is the type of data for this variable name, and you can store a name there, and you can utilize it. For example, I'll just clear this off, and I'm going to store a name here. Whose name can I store? So those who wish can post down something in chat box. I'll display or post one of the participants' name as example here. Okay, so let me go with standard string. This is the data type for the variable name, and I'm going to store. Okay, we have. Okay, let me first store Tom. Okay, and let me go with standard console output, and I'll display the name. So double quotes. Okay, and then you can run it. You can get the name. Okay, so I'll pick only one name, simple name, Sai. Okay, I'll run this. So you can get your names displayed, or you can use or work with strings. You can have, for example, you can have spaces. Okay, and you can type details. It will be stored. Okay, and that's about strings. We'll be utilizing strings in lot of places, and lot of use cases are there. For now, in data types topic, we stop till here. Okay. So moving into the next topic, which is going to be Booleans. So Booleans are other data type. Have you ever heard about Booleans? So Booleans are very simple, guys. When you talk about different data types, they are complex, right? They have a lot of different modifiers and types. Booleans are very simple. So they have two values, just zeros and ones. So Boolean is a data type in C++ that represents true or false value. Okay. So it is commonly used in programming. Later on, when we discuss about control statements, okay, where decision making or condition evaluations will be done. Okay, so in such places you can use booleans for deciding factor, yeah, true or false. Okay, so boolean is a data type in C++ that represents true or false, and in any programming language, in computer, okay, in hardware, if you talk in general, 0 means off situation and 1 means on situation. Okay, that's the same case here. 0 means false and 1 means true. You have to remember this, and you can go and declare, okay, bool, okay, that is for boolean, and then you can go for any status or something, any variable where you can type true or false. Let us clear this and go with boolean status. I can store it as true. Okay, I can display this in the output, standard C output status. Okay, since it is true, it will be displaying 1 in the output because it is true situation. So you can also have another one which is false. Okay, false means off situation, which is display 0. Okay, 0 means false, 1 means true, and we won't be having this manually typing. Okay, we may use it like a flag like this, but later on when we discuss about operators and all, when we compare or do conditions, those things automatically return either 0 or 1, which is false or true, which can be used as a deciding factor for the control flow and flow of your program. Okay, so that is about booleans. Is it clear till now? Can we start with auto? Okay, there is something known as auto we have to see, and constants. Can we start? Can I get some response in chat box? Okay, so we are going to start now with auto. So in C++, the auto keyword is actually came from an update. I hope it from 2011 update, the major update. So in C++, okay, the auto keyword is used for automatic type inference. Okay, so if you have used other programming languages, like nowadays we have languages like Python and all, right? So in Python and all, you won't be directly going and declaring this variable is storing integer, this variable is storing float, or this is used for storing string and all. So in such modern languages, the compiler or interpreter will automatically declare or decide based on the value it is storing. Okay, so they have introduced the option in C++ as well. So you have to declare the data type as auto, which will automatically infer, okay, during compilation. So it allows the compiler to deduce the type of a variable from its initializer expression, and this can make code more concise and readable, especially when dealing with complex or templated type. Or later on we will be seeing a lot of mathematical problems where if you don't know what type of output it may produce, you can declare it as auto, so that your code can go error free. Okay, so instead of integer or float, you can type or declare it as auto. So let us try to do it. Auto x equal to 10 and auto y equal to 3.4. So let me display x, standard inline, and standard cout. I'll display y. Okay, there is no other line apart from that. Here there is a mistake. Yeah, let us run this. Okay, 10 and 3.4 as such we have mentioned it is returning because it is deduced automatically. This is auto. Okay, auto from C++. So moving into the next one, which is constant. Okay, so constant in not only in programming languages, generally constants means they are actually they won't change. Okay, it's a constant value which is not altered by anything else. So once a constant is defined, its value cannot be changed throughout the program. Okay, that is the use of constant. You can also use it in programming language. Okay, can we do it? So using constants can make your code more readable, maintainable, and less error prone by providing meaningful names to values that should not be modified. For example, we know that the value of pi is something like 3.14159 and it will go. Okay. For example, if you are declaring this in a formula and you are going to create application, and later on someone tries to alter it, and can they store value of pi as 26, or we have gravitation force equal to 9.8 or something, right? Can you change the gravitation to something like 100, or you can reduce it? It is not allowed, right? Naturally it is not allowed. If you want to control this, you don't want to change this once you declare it, you can go and call it as constant. Okay, for example, let us go with, so first I am going with pi equal to, what is pi? Integer. Pi equal to, okay, it is not integer as well, it is, for example, I'll go with double. Pi equal to 3.14, okay, 159, and let us cut it off here, and then I am going with standard console output, or for example we'll display it directly pi. Okay, so I'll try to run this. The value is displayed as such. Okay, I'll clear and run it once again. Value is 3.14159. So what I'm going to do is, we know that a variable can be changed later on by calling its reference name. So pi equal to, I'm going to store it as 100. Okay, so now what will be the value of pi? Tell me guys in chat box. If I run this code, what will happen? What will be the value of pi which will be displayed in the console? Post down answers in chat box. Post it down, waiting for your response. Right, it will be displaying 100, right? Why? Because we are actually changing this, but technically you don't want it to change. It is displaying 100. So in such place where you want to take control, what you can do is you can go and declare this as a constant. Okay, so now you are declaring constant double pi equal to 3.14. You can see there is some red line, which means it is error. If you even try to run this, if you try to modify a constant value, okay, it is a read only variable. You are not having any access to change it, okay, not to write it. You have only read only access. So that value cannot be changed after this. Okay, so that is the power of constant value. So if you are trying to denote any scientific values which is well known, which is not changed, okay, if it's a constant, you can go and declare it as a constant value. Clear? So now we are moving into user input. Before that, is it clear about the topics we have discussed till now? Because user input will open a new dimension for us. Okay, till now we have seen the basics of data types, and we have completed the basic data types and some other things like auto and constant. If this is clear, then we can move into the next one, which is user input. So we have completed the basic variables and data types. Can we continue with user input? And before that, if you want to convert this masterclass into a certified internship, 1 month certified internship on C++, you can join as internship user and get all these benefits: 30 days of live sessions, 90 days of access to all the records, source code and project files, 4 hackathon with coding interview sessions on Zoom every weekend. So 4 sessions will be happening by this weekend. If you are joining by this weekend, you will be getting that in live as well. So please try to make it if you are planning. You will be getting 5 additional DSA topics, downloadable presentations, internship confirmation letter, and then internship certification when you complete the internship. So you can avail this in a discounted fee at $899. It is the discounted fee. The link is posted in chat box, and you will be getting additional DSA topics as well as hackathon sessions on Zoom. The first batch will be ending by tomorrow, and most probably we will be having the first hackathon and interview coding session by this weekend on Saturdays or Sundays. So if you are planning to buy, please make it before that. So moving into the next topic, which is going to be user input. So in programming, okay, so when we talk about programming, we have displayed the console output, but at the same time, in lot of places we want to get a user input. For example, if you are trying to create a web application, like you are creating a Facebook app, okay, it may be a web app, but still in that app you are going to get a user input. Like for example, you will be getting, okay, you will be asked for username and password. So in such places, the user will be entering the value, okay, so that should be integrated into the code. So generally these concepts are called as user input, and since we are not working in a front end, we are working just with a back end in the console level, you can get the user input in the console itself. For example, instead of you declaring what is the name as Sai, okay, instead of that, every time you run the program, you can ask the name of the user in the console with the help of standard C input, okay, like standard C output. We have standard console input. It is an object of the class standard input stream. From IO stream it is coming, that is why IO stream, input output stream, okay, which is a part of C++ standard library input output stream functionality. So it is used for reading input from the standard input stream, typically the keyboard, using console. And in C++, the input streams are used for reading data from various sources, including files, strings, and standard input, and refers to the standard input stream commonly used for interactive input in console based programs. Okay, for example, how to use this is, see here, first, for example, I am going to get a variable number, okay, integer number. I am going to get a number from the user, okay. So what I am trying to do is, if I want to store any value to the number, I have to first create a container for it. So the container will be now available, and then I can use standard C output. This is optional, but for functionality we will be adding an output statement which will just display enter a number, and then this is the place where I am going to get the user input. See here, I am using standard C input, and then I am shifting it towards number. Can you see the greater than symbol here, the right shift operator? Why? Because this input is going to get the input from the user, and whatever number you are getting, this operator focusing on the right side will take anything on the left hand side and insert it on the right hand side. So whatever the user input, okay, for example the input is 10 means the value of 10 is taken from the left hand side and it is going to be inserted into the right hand side on the variable number. So now after this line, okay, the value of this variable number in this container, the value 10 will be stored. So if you go and try to print that or in the console output or do any operations, the value of number will be 10 because the user entered that. Can we repeat this? Can we repeat this, guys? Yes. So I'm going to go and clear this off, and I'm going to first we need a container, then only we can store things. So I'll store integer x equal to 30. Sorry, this is declaration, right? So I'm just going to create a container integer x. And what I'm going to do is I'll use standard console output. This is just for our wish. Okay, so I'm going to just show enter x. Okay, colon, and then I'm going to go with standard console input. It is not less than symbol, now it is greater than. You want to take from input and insert into x. Okay, and later on I'm going to do once again a standard console output. Okay, the value of x is, and then I'll go with passing x. So now if I run this, see here, can you see it is waiting for me to enter the value? Can you see it? So it is asking enter x and waiting for the console input. I am going to enter 44 here and I am going to press enter now, and it is printing the value of x is 44. So every time we run this, it is going to ask for the value, and whatever I am using will be displayed. And later on in the next session we will also see about mathematical operations where you can do max and other stuffs with this. Okay. And why we are actually doing this enter x before this is, if you just cut it off, see here, if you don't have that statement and you can directly use this input as well, but the problem is if you try to run this, see here, I clear this off, okay, and if I try to run this, it is just asking, can you see, you will be understanding that it is stuck or something, but it is waiting for you to console input. Okay, why? Because you are asking for input and you don't have any display statement, that's why it is just asking in the start of the beginning, and if I enter some number it will be displaying that, but this is not good, right? You want to have some information for the user. So I'll just go with enter x or display some information so that the user can properly get it. Okay, and run it. Clear? Is it clear, guys? Clear about this? So now what we are going to do is I am going to get a name here. So it is not an integer as well, it is going to be standard string name. I am going to display enter your name. You can get whatever data you want, just make sure the container with their respective data type. Okay, so the input I am going to go with this, I want to store it in name, and I'll just display hello and then a space and then the name of that particular user. Okay, so let me run this, first clear this off and run this. So it is asking me enter your name. What name can I enter? We'll go with Sai once again. Sai. Hello Sai. Okay, I hope I have given more spaces here. So this is fine. Okay, so hello Sasi, all these names will be displayed. So now there is actually a few problem with this console input. Okay, so you are getting this input, that is fine, but there is a small glitch here. I am going to show you now. So instead of name, I am going to ask enter your full name. Okay, so I am going to ask enter your full name, and the user is now tasked with, he want to enter his full name, and let us consider that this name he has is something like, okay, his name is Jackie Chan and he is going to enter this. And what am I getting in the output? Can you guys see this? What am I getting? What am I getting, guys? I am getting hello Jackie alone, right? I am not getting the Chan, the second name. Why? Because, okay, online compilers are available. You can search, for example, just go into your browser and you can search for online C++ compilers. It is available from Programmers. You can use that. Click this. You will be getting the link from Programmers. You can use that as your online compiler. From mobile also you can try this in your browser. Okay. So the output we are getting is only Jackie. So now I am trying to understand why, because why this is happening. There is some error. Let me run this again. Okay, so I am going to enter the name without something like I'll enter as Jackie Chan without any spaces. Now I am getting this. Okay, so is it the problem only for Jackie Chan? So let us try with some other name. Okay, so I am going to do it for Iron Man. So it seems like if I enter any spaces, okay, it is going to ignore the rest of the things, right? So that is a property of your console input. That is actually a problem. Okay, that is actually a feature. Okay, for example, if you are reading a string using standard C input, it will read characters until it encounters only white space. So if any spaces are occurred, okay, space or tab or new line, okay, it is going to ignore the rest because the console input is destined with only getting till that. Okay, so to overcome this issue with reading input that includes spaces or white space, or if you want the full name, till you press enter if you want that, okay, you can use a new thing which is called as get line, but you have to use it along with your standard console input for reading entire line of input. Okay, so for doing that we can call standard get line console input, and then, okay, so you have to pass two things here. The first one will be console input and the second one will be what you are going to store or where you are going to store. I want to store it in name, right? So can we do it? So I am going to go inside and I am going to use, if I try to use this, there is a glitch, and what I am going to do is, instead of this I am going to remove this line and I am going to call standard get line, and inside of that first I have to pass standard console input, comma, the next one is where I am going to store this. I want to store the input in name, so it will get the entire line using standard console input and store it inside name. So if I run this now, okay, so I am going to ask the full name, so he is going to enter now as Jackie Chan. Okay, so you can have any extensions as well, the hero and all, so whatever thing you type, it is going to get fully. Can you see this? All the things has stored now with spaces as well. You are getting it with hello without that problem, so you can ignore or overcome that with the help of get line. Clear? Clear about get line? Is it clear? Means please post it down in chat box so we can continue with another glitch and another way of overcoming it, because these things you may encounter later on. So I am telling you, these are all some like faults which you can fall, so you have to be careful in these places and you have to take necessary actions in such place. For example, I can also do, for example, I am going to declare integer age, okay, and I am going to use standard, okay, console input, and I am going to store it in age. Before that I will also enter some things like standard console output, okay, enter your age. Okay, so what are we doing? First this program will ask for the age, and once the age is entered it is going to ask for the username and it is going to tell hello the username. Okay, so first let me clear this off and I am going to show you some problem here. Expect that, and I am going to run this. The code is fine, it is fine, but if I run this, it is asking me for the age. Let me enter the age as, for example, 25, and I will press enter. What am I getting, guys? It is asking me for enter your full name and then it is displaying hello and then it is vanished. Okay, you may think that I have double pressed wrongly. No, I will try to run this once again. I am going to enter the value of age. I will enter a age and then I will press enter. One type I do, it is not asking for the name, it is just skipping that and going into hello. Okay, this is also a problem you may encounter. Okay, and to overcome this, what you have to do is, the problem is actually arising in this part, right? In getLang, after this age, you are getting this problem. Okay, so in such places, what you have to do is, this console input should be taken, okay, only after white space. So you can go and shift this, okay, towards standard white space. Okay, so you are first getting the age, and then what this will do, it will pick anything on the right hand side and insert it. Okay, it will pick anything on the left hand side and insert it on the right hand side. So after white space, it is going to just start with the console input. So it is getting freshly, and you won't get this error now. So now if I run this, okay, so your age, I'll enter the age value and press enter. It is asking me for the full name. I'll enter Jackie Chan and press enter. Hello Jackie Chan. Okay. Yes, we can use namespace. I'll be teaching that in few slides after this. You can't directly jump into complex things, right? So I'll just modify this, beautify this, enter your age, hello, your name, and then as per our records, you are, and I'll display the age and then years old. Okay, so this is the information will be displayed later on. So this is fine, right? Beautified. I'll run this, enter the age 18. Okay, I'm going to enter a full name, which is like Tom Hanks. Hello Tom Hanks. I need to add a space here so that it will be proper, right? Hello Tom Hanks, and as per our records, you are 18 years old. Okay, clear about getLang? Can we discuss about namespace next? Can we start with namespace? Can I get some response in chat box? Can we continue with this? Clear about console input? So we have completed the input, user inputs. Okay, next session most probably we will be doing some simple tasks. After learning some operators and some mathematical concepts with programming, we will be doing some simple challenges. Okay, so moving into the next one, which is namespace. So what is a namespace? Okay, so namespace is a declarative region. So you can declare. Okay, if you remember when we discussed about on day 1, we have discussed about the basic syntax which started with, okay, so it will get the entire line. If you watch the video fully, you can understand what is getLang. It will be used for getting the entire line, so that even if you have white spaces, it will continue. Okay, so if you remember the syntax which we discussed on day 1, it has started with, okay, hash include or something which is called as header files, and then next is a space for namespace which we haven't added. You can also add. So a namespace is a declarative region that provides a scope to the identifiers. It is for identifiers. Okay, the names of types, functions, variables, etc. inside it, and it can be used to organize code into logical groups and used to prevent name collisions that occur, especially when your code base includes multiple libraries. You can manually do it, but there are some predefined as well. For example, you can use this namespace for calling standard. So every time you don't want to go with standard cout or standard cin, you can directly call cout or cin or nline. Okay, for example, this entire statements, what I can do is at here in the space for namespace, okay, you can go and use this, okay, using namespace standard. So if you want, you can directly go and call this as string, you can call this as cout, you can call this as cin. Okay, all these things will be available for you now from the namespace, so that you don't want to mandatorily go and mention that. Okay, so I'll just remove these things off. And if you don't go with the standard namespace, you will be getting a lot of error. But if I run this now, okay, so it is asking me for the age. Okay, so I'll enter some name. Okay, everything works fine. But if you remove this off, and if I run this, a lot of errors will be coming. See here, a lot of error, because that standard is missing. Okay, yeah, so you can use simply namespace standard. but some programmers will suggest you that don't go with standard. Okay, don't go with that. You can also use this declarations. Why? Because in this standard, like the C out, C in, end line and all, there are a lot of things like minimum, maximum and all are available, which you can also declare integer, max and all, right? You can declare any variable names as well, but at the same time, for example, you can give a name integer C out. But the problem is now your compiler won't use that standard C out. It will use this variable and you will be getting lot of error. Okay. So in such places, what I are suggesting is please don't go with using namespace together as standard. Instead, you can use whatever things you want. For example, okay. For example, I hope I have to remove this once again. Okay. So you can call using standard cout. Okay. Using standard cin. So whatever you are using, you can call that alone. Okay. Like this, you can call using standard cout, cin, nline and all. You can call. So you don't want to call that explicitly. You can also go with. So whatever things I have called, I can use it without standard. Okay. So that is declarations at the top. So this is better. Clear? Clear about these two? I can't go with getLine because I haven't called it. So I have to directly go with it. If I go with standard only, it will be available. Okay. So this is allowed. You can call it at the top and then you can use it later without any issues. Clear about this? So that is declarations. And finally, we will see about this namespace, which you can mandatorily also do. Okay. So a namespace is actually used. Okay. A namespace is a declarative region to provide a scope. So you can create some namespace to organize code into logical groups and prevent name collisions that occur, especially when your code base includes multiple libraries. For example, you can create by using namespace first, and you can declare, for example, I am declaring this as integer x equal to 10 inside the namespace first. Okay, and then namespace second is also created and it's storing x equal to 20 and it is outside the main. So if I use using namespace second, and if I use console output x, what will be the value of x? So in namespace second, the value of x is 20, that will be displayed. If you go with first, then that will be displayed. Let us try to do this. I'll go into this, I'll clear this off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first declare outside of my main. I'm going to declare, you can use this keyword which is called as namespace and give any name to it. For example, I'll give it as first and use curly braces to open and close it, and anything inside you can create, for example, integer x equal to 20. Okay, so this is namespace first. I can also use another namespace and create second. Okay, integer x, the same variable name, I'm going to store 30. Okay, now if I display the value of x by using namespace first, what will be the value? Please post it in chat box. You should use it inside the main now. Okay, using namespace. What is the space? I'm going to use first, which has a value of x as 20. Okay, so I'll use standard console output value of x. Okay, so let me run this. What will be the value? It will be 20 displayed here. See here, 20. Okay, run this once again. It will be 20, and if I just change this into namespace second, it is going to display 30 now. Okay, that is the use of namespaces. Like that, you can have multiple variable names or different details inside. And we'll be seeing about the remaining things like type definitions and other stuffs in the next session. Or I hope we can continue with this type def. Let us complete this. Just one topic. Okay, what is type definition? So type definition keyword in C++ is used for aliasing or giving alias name for existing data type. Okay, and pointers to give more meaningful names, and they allow you to give more descriptive names to standard data types, and it is used for just giving some nickname. Okay, simply if I want to tell you with example, it can be used for giving a nickname. For example, at the start itself you can call type definition, and you can call any variable or any data type name. For example, it could be integer, or don't use it without any use. Okay, so for example, if you go with standard string, it is very lengthy, right? you can give a nickname. For example, I am going to call it as text underscore t. So later on, if I use text underscore t, it will be utilizing standard string. Okay, let us try to use it and we'll wind up the session with that. So let me cut this off and I'm going to use, okay, so before main I'm going to declare a type definition. And for example, you can give even integer, you can give it as some different name, but it is suggested whenever it is required, please go with that. Okay, later on when you go over complex things, we'll be dealing lot of things. If it's simple, don't use this. Okay, string, okay, I'm going to give a new name, just leave a space and type it as text or any name which you want to give. So now text underscore t can be used to call, okay, so text underscore t name equal to Tom. Okay, and I'm going to go with standard console output name. So if we get name, then that is the benefit, and we are getting Tom because we are using type definition. So that's it for today. Thank you, thanks for watching. We'll see you on day 4 and thank you for the comments. And if you are planning to convert this masterclass into a certified internship, 1 month certified internship on C++, you can join as an internship user and get all these benefits of internship. You'll be getting 30 days of live sessions, 90 days of access to all the records, source code of the projects, okay, and project files, code files every day. You'll be getting in the downloadables along with PPTs, downloadable PPTs, 4 hackathon coding interview sessions, 5 additional DSA topics, internship confirmation letter, and then internship certification when you complete the internship. So to avail this, you can get it in a discounted fee at 899 and the link is posted in chat box. Okay, and this is a limited offer, and we are going to conduct our first hackathon Zoom session for interview coding questions, basics and doubt clarifications by this weekend. If you are planning to buy or enroll this internship, please do it before that so you can get from the first itself. After that also you can get, you will be missing the live session. Okay, so all the notes will be given for the internship users. If you are planning, you can get this or avail this internship at this registration link at this discounted fee. The link is posted in chat box. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.